Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tights Frame of Mind, episode 40. This is episode 40, which I don't know why. I feel like that's a milestone. Like our
Ooh,
our our show is approaching middle age, you know?
wow. I kind of know that feeling. Uh,
Yeah, right? Oh, and some people might recognize that voice that we just heard.
oh my. Who is that voice?
It's our very special guest
Ooh,
show
ooh,
host.
ooh,
You're like a
ooh.
guest show host and a host and you're everything. I mean, I
Well,
actually have no idea who this is talking to me though. Who are you?
who am I? Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that one out myself. Everybody, if I know y'all have missed me. I've missed you guys. I have missed talking to the Pantyhose King himself. Oh my God, but it's me, Rod speaking. I'm back. I'm here.
Yes,
You
he
caught
is.
me at a good night.
I caught him at a very good night, and unfortunately, I Commodore is not able to make it tonight. So, the triad is not able to do it. But yeah, no, I literally I wrote you on Instagram like a few hours ago, and I was like,
Yes.
"Show misses you," and you're like, "I missed the show," and I was like, "Well, if you're not doing anything tonight," and I really did not expect you to be like, I expected, the usual like, "Oh, I've got 15 things to do," because you've been busy.
I've been super busy. Holy shit, have we been busy?
Tell everybody what you've been doing.
All right, so for those of y'all who have had either don't know or had your head in a hole somewhere, my wife and I, we own a home bakery business called Suskis Cakes and Cookies, and it has been in years past. We would do pop ups like 3 or 4 during the spring and fall season and all that. Well, uh, let's just say now that my wife has gone full time with this, so she's doing this. I do it part time when I come home after work and everything. And so now we are doing like pop up shops almost every single weekend. I'm talking like this weekend we had two of them, Saturday and Sunday. So plus major orders. I mean, we've just been busy. I'm talking balls to the wall busy.
So like pretty soon I could start asking you for like sugar daddy money because you guys are blowing up so well.
I wish.
But well, don't worry. I'll be asking for money soon enough. You'll get your wish. Don't you worry about that. But tonight is actually going to be a fun night because this is something that I don't believe I've even actually gotten the full story from you. We've been doing a few shows where we've been talking about people's, pantyhose origin stories, their evolution stories. And we've heard the Commodores and mine is easily you can hear it on very in depth with Kathy K on Strictly Anonymous, so I don't feel like rehashing mine. But we've never heard the full Speed King story, the
Oh
full
wow.
unedited, uncensored.
Yes, unedited, uncensored. Now I've talked about it on various different podcasts and video YouTube shows and everything, but I've never really gone fully in depth.
We're gonna
Um,
go in depth tonight. We're gonna go to the places that before other people might not have been brave enough to go because they're a bunch of pussies. Just kidding.
what does that say?
I shouldn't use it. I should say they're a bunch of chickens. Chickens.
Ah,
Right? Try not to be misogynistic in my everyday language. You know,
no,
I've been
absolutely
doing
not.
it. I know. Well, the blues, like the liberal stuff's washing over me. I play a lot of Magic the Gathering, so if you don't watch your P's and Q's, they're gonna fucking take you out into the center of the fucking town and just burn you alive. So you got to watch yourself. So I
Well, first things first, I got to compliment on the outfit. I'm digging that cowboy hat, and I got to ask, what brand are you doing the legs today, or is it or something even shinier? Or
these are these are I think they are the last pair of LCX shiny pantyhose that I got from from a land before time. These probably are like 3 years old, 4 years old, maybe. No,
I was
wait.
going to say, I thought they were like five.
Yeah,
We've
that
had
no,
this for a long
yeah,
time.
you're right. That is it has to be. I found them in a suitcase.
Oh wow.
And I was like, wow, shoot, like I just want to try them on and man, they were good. They were good. I mean, I would never say, I mean, I would never model for a company that wasn't good, but,
Right.
you know, they were good. And there,
Yeah.
there's, speaking just a little bit of pantyhose news, there is a new company that's on the horizon that
Oh.
is, they're French. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It is Signis. It is
Okay.
a they have now officially finally they have released a model that looks like proper regular dude. I mean, at least at least in the European countries. And I will say Cara Hosiery has nailed it. It's nice to see somebody else nailing it in the European market finally
There's
because
another one called Una tights. They
oh
have
that's
had,
right.
actually
That's
have
right. That's right. Una does do that too. Um
yes.
the only thing that I can say that's pretty cool about Signis is that they're already offering different deniers. They're
Okay.
offering 30, 40, 60, and they offer
Oh
nude and black. Now I understand, starting up a company like black is really the only thing that you know, that's pretty much it.
yeah.
Or if you're sheer text, that's pretty much all you do, and then talk about how you're saving the planet while you're doing it, which doesn't get totally exhausting to listen to. I mean, not I mean, I'm for conserving the planet. I don't have any kids. So right there, I could literally take everything that I own and burn it. And that would my carbon footprint is it doesn't exist. But since I can't get pregnant, I don't have any kids, so I'm not worried about my you know about my pantyhose usage blocking up the whatever the hell's. But I get that it's an important thing. But some people, sheer text, lean into it way too much. And that's why I personally hate them.
Personally.
This is my opinion only. But it's great to see some new companies like these, like Una and Signis popping up that are actually featuring male models and not just German meme dudes who. All right. But that was just a little bit of things that I wanted to introduce. We got some actual male models popping up, professional
Yes.
male models popping up on the horizon. The hose industry is now officially recognizing men's hosiery as a viable market that's in the actual the annual compendium that you can
About
get.
time.
Yes, and for a mere $30,000, I can get my hands on that particular copy of the information. Of that, it's literally $30,000 for that
Wow.
paper, which because I guess only the CEOs of the world really get to look at it and that kind of stuff. So
Something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and then when they're like 9 years old, they're only $5,000. So if anybody out there has $30,000, they want to know what's going on in the men's hosiery market, just send it to me. I promise I'll get it. I promise I won't buy something else. Yeah, send it to
Maybe one
Rob.
pair.
Send it to Rob. Speaking of Rob, let's hear your origin story,
Wow.
starting from the beginning. What started it?
Let's go all the way back to times of yore.
Oh,
For
right,
those of
the
you,
Jurassic.
yes, yes. I'm thinking like before that, like Big Bang Theory. Good old fashioned, but maybe let's go back to 1979, maybe 1980, right around that time. So for those of y'all who don't know, yes, I'm 50 years old. So so growing up, I saw pantyhose all the time. Growing up in the 70s and the 80s, it was everywhere on TV, in the movies. My own mother, she was a very striking young woman. She wore them all the time.
You were a
But
striking woman too.
well, if I dress myself up nicely, I mean, come on,
No, by the
I
way,
got a great pair of legs.
you're like a few of your pictures are in my actually because I have like thousands of photos of spank bank material. Every once in a while you pop up and I'm like, oh look, there's Rob, and I don't stop what I'm doing. I'm just like, there he is.
I just look. I'm glad to know that I'm spankable here. So,
Oh come on, don't be modest. Don't be modest.
no, but seriously, but going back to when I was like, I think it was like around seven. I was even thinking, what's it? So first grade, that would be right around 80, 81. So I'm at about, I'd say 6, 7 years old at that point, and that was when the first time I ever wore hosiery whatsoever. It was for a school play,
Lucky.
and yeah, and I still remember they were opaque, blue opaque tights, like kind of like the wool kind almost. And it was about 10 of us, and we were all in first grade. We were playing Royal Soldiers in some play. I don't know what the play was. All I know is that we came marching out, and we, stood there marching, looking like soldiers and everything. and then we marched right on off, and that was my part. All that, and I held on to those tights for several years to a point I couldn't wear them no more. But even then, back then, it didn't really affect what I am today. If you fast forward a little bit, what really I think affected it was the times where I would stay home during the summertime. And you know how I don't know if you remember them,
Well, how
but
old were
remember
you
the old.
when you
I'm
how old are
sorry.
you when you're talking about staying home from summertime? What age are we at now?
Uh, Say right around 12 years old, 13 years old. When you're finally starting to become a little more active and everything.
Hmm.
And so it's right. I'm guessing about 86.
Okay.
All right, so so 86 was a big year for me because that was the heart of when you had jazzercise happening. You had all these exercise shows starting to happen. You had Solid Gold on TV. You had Fame and all these all these different shows, and you would see women in leotards, tights. I mean, shiny tights, whatever. And the one thing for me is that always caught my eye was shiny hosiery,
Mhm.
always. And out, and also in the mornings, you would see these exercise shows. You got the main guy in the front. I didn't care about the guy. I care about the women who had on these really,
I mean, he didn't have
like tan.
anything on that was of interest.
No, there's nothing worth watching. They
Hmm.
would have the real high cut leotards and the like skin tone or shiny tan hosiery,
Yep.
and it just drew my eye to it. I would get so jealous. It's like, why can't I be able to wear something like that? You know,
Mm.
it would just really, it really kind of burned my brain here. It's like, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to wear something like that. That looks so freaking cool. It's like, and I would also think, God, man, can you imagine how smooth that would feel? It probably feel like silk, and oh my God, it really caught my eye. Yeah, pretty much. But also at the same time, this is like when I'm entering sixth grade. You got girls in middle school now, and they're all graduating to their big girl hose and everything. They're finally wearing the sheer suntans and the sheer blacks. They're no longer wearing the opaque whites, the opaque blacks, and the opaque navy blues. Um, and there was this one girl that was in my math class. She was kind of known as a bad girl, so to say.
She was
This
slut, you say? Was
Well, I
she?
don't know. Maybe her younger sister definitely was with me.
Well,
But she had these long. She was very tall. She had these long, beautiful suntan legs because she had on this beautiful pantyhose. And the way I was sitting, she was sitting this way. I was sitting this way. So you had a desk here, desk here, desk here, and I had this full view of her. And I just would not stop looking. She would look at me like, "What the hell are you looking at?" And I'm like, nothing,
nothing.
just nothing. Well, and more I would see it, and just more and more I would crave it. Didn't realize I had a fetish. I just craved it. I wanted to see it more. I wanted to feel it. And as but then during the summertime, and I lived with a single mom. So at the time, because she had my real father had passed away. He killed in line of duty. She remarried, divorced again. She was like Liz Taylor. She was marriage, divorce, marriage, divorce, marriage, divorce.
Well, I mean, except for, I guess, your dad, because that's sort of
Right.
not. Yeah, that's not
No,
really.
and I'm not going to discount that, but I'm just saying that's kind of how my
But
life
she,
was.
yeah,
I grew up with a single mom, and so when she would be gone at work, it was just me at the house. What do I do? Like any other boy would do, steal a pair of their mom's pantyhose, try them
yeah,
on.
yeah.
I was immediately hooked. All right. Now, mind you, now what I forgot to I completely forgot to mention this. I can't believe I forgot this. Growing up, I wore pantyhose anytime it snowed here because I didn't have long johns. So my mom would always have me either dress in tights under my jeans, or pantyhose or whatever, just to keep my legs warm. Because she was like, "You're going to be out there in the snow. Here it is. I'm walking around with tennis shoes with bags over my shoes to keep my socks from getting wet, but I'm also wearing pantyhose just to keep warm."
It works.
Yeah, it works. So, and this continued all the way up until about that point. Well, by 12 years old, and I'm seeing all this stuff and I'm experiencing all this stuff, and I put on my first pair. It was pure fucking bliss. It was like a whole new world open to me.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, wow, this is so freaking cool. I mean, I would sit there and wear them all day until, like, say, maybe an hour or two before my mom had to get home from work. And she was very meticulous. So I'd always try to make sure I balled them up just right to put them back in her drawer. Now, mind you, back then, she would, legs pantyhose was kind of considered disposable,
Yeah.
but they were also highly worn all the time versus, say, some of the other brands. So she would always throw them away, and I would see them in the trash can, and I'm like, "Mom, I'm taking out the bathroom trash." Oh, okay, thank
Yeah.
you, hon. And I'd steal
Yeah.
the pair and go and hide them somewhere. And she was none the wiser. And so I always had my own pair until I was able to go and buy my own pair. Well, how I got lucky is that I also had a best friend whose dad worked for Legs Pantyhose.
Wow. Wow.
He had the Legs truck right there that parked right there in front of his townhouse, and we go visit and everything. He would sit there and give me a couple pairs to go take to my mom.
Oh my God. Wow.
So I would at least get one or two free ones every once in a while.
You're like, they're going straight to my mom.
Exactly.
Now,
And but
but
go
question.
ahead.
So how old are you when this is happening? This is at what age?
So a lot of this really started going right at about 12 years old.
Okay, so you're around this because back at 12, you're still gonna be able to fit in your mom's sizes because like after a certain amount of time it becomes impossible to.
Exactly. And at that time, I mean, granted, my mom was 5'3", so
Oh,
and what was so funny is that the way my mom looked and the way I looked and everything, and as tall as I was, because I got my height from my dad's side of the family. So people would see us in the mall and they would think that we were like brother and sister. Yeah, because I mean, my hair was like almost bleach blonde. She would actually bleach her hair blonde. So we literally looked like brother and sister. And they were like, no, we're mom and son. It's,
we're in the same pantyhose too.
yeah, exactly. But the thing is that I always hid it for a while. Well, I I would wear kind of it was be very off and on. It wasn't always all the time. And so by the time I reached high school, um, this is when if I would say I was what ninth grade, freshman in high school and everything when I had my first girlfriends. I mean real girlfriends where we were sexually active and stuff like that. And all my girlfriends I had through high school, they all knew I had a thing for pantyhose. And so they would purposely wear them because they knew it would push my buttons and I wouldn't be able to keep my hands off of them. And they loved it. They absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's a power trip. It's awesome.
It was a big power trip. Even one of my ex girlfriends is like after we had broke up, she ended up finding another guy, and we ended up at a party one time, and she knew I was going to be there, so she purposely wore pantyhose just to kind of push my buttons to tease me.
Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's dirty pool.
Oh, she flashed them good too.
Did you break up with her?
Yes, I broke up with
Okay.
her.
Okay, never mind. Okay, I
She
get it. I get it.
she had some real daddy issues, and even though she was like a year or two older than me, but it's like she was like 19, 20 years old, but yet still acting like a 15, 16 years old, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, developmental. Yeah.
She had some real issues. Sweet girl, don't get me wrong, beautiful. I mean, everything. I mean, we're now friends. I mean, so anytime I see her, it's always friendly and everything else. So I mean,
She's still
what am I
trying
gonna
to
do?
get your. She's still trying to get your goat, even though you're married.
No, no,
Okay, good.
she lives so far away, so it's rare I ever run into her anymore.
Okay.
So I mean, only time I ever would run into her is if it's by chance I happen to be in the my old hometown at say like Walmart or something like that, and it's so rare because she can go somewhere else now where she lives at.
And what would you be doing at Walmart? Not buying pantyhose, that's for sure.
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, of course you're buying pantyhose at Walmart, but everybody buys pantyhose at Walmart was the easiest place to buy them because like you could just
Right?
disappear into the jungle and nobody, like you didn't run the risk of being seen by anyone. You
Yeah.
like even by the workers. And if people were like, "Can I help you with something?" You're like, "Nope, nope, nope, nope."
Actually, some of the workers, because I knew a lot of the workers at the Walmart that I used to work at, and even they knew, and they were like, "Yeah, man, look right here." They were cool though. There were so many people that I dealt with that knew about my thing for pantyhose that they were like, whatever, that's Rob, bro, it's Rob's thing, whatever.
So,
Um,
so when did you first start wearing publicly? Because it cannot have been very far along because you've been wearing
now,
public.
I didn't start wearing publicly until the week. So if we're going to go from that point, let's fast forward to 2010. So 2010 was the big year for me. This was when I was diagnosed with my restless leg syndrome. True story. And it was for about 2 years, I was dealing with some really bad leg problems. I'm talking constant severe leg cramps. I was, constantly, shaking my leg all the time. I was thinking it was like a nervous habit or whatever. Not the case. So I got to talking with an old friend of mine, an old coworker who ended up leaving. And one thing he kept saying was, "You need to get yourself checked," because I was having trouble sleeping at night. I was constantly kicking in bed. I couldn't sit down like at night and get a real and be rested. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like I was having constant tingles coming up my leg, and then the way my knee would get, I would feel like I would want to take my leg and turn it completely around because that's what it felt like. It was such a stinging pain, especially in this area and up in here. I could not sit still. I couldn't sleep right. Um, Still couldn't sleep right for a good while, but I ended up controlling the pain a little bit later. And so I went to the doctor and, talking about, he said, diagnosed, one, a potassium deficiency, and two, restless leg syndrome. So originally they had me on medicine and I did it for 2 weeks. All right. Now,
What?
mind you, this medicine made, now understand, I'm a utility worker. So I would work like 18 feet up in the air or, 20 feet down below, and I drive a rather large truck. So
That's what she.
safety, yeah, that's what she said. Um, so I tried this medicine for like 2 weeks. I gave it a go. I gave it a chance, and I went back to the doctor and said, "No." I said, "This ain't going to work." I said, "I need something different." I said, I explained my situation to him. I said, "This stuff is making me dizzy. I can't walk straight. I can't focus on nothing. This is just, it's making me nauseous." And so he's like, "Well, let's try something different. Let's take a different approach on this. Since you don't want to do medication, how would you think about doing, say, compression therapy?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And now I'm trying to play stupid with the guy. And he explained it to me. I said, "All right, I like to get a second opinion."
Wait, you played stupid to get a second opinion, even though you knew
Yeah.
that
I wanted to make sure that the guy was being serious with me.
you really you thought that he was.
Yeah.
Now, why did you think he
I,
was bullshitting?
because this particular doctor was kind of known for I ended up leaving this doctor after the fact, but because there was a couple other diagnoses that ended up being bullshit,
Uh,
and I left them. So I went and got a second opinion, and I talked to a nurse practitioner, and she basically kind of said the same thing. She goes, "What you have is not so severe, but what your previous doctor said can help you." I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a try." So I was fitted for medical hosiery. I was went through the whole shit and shebang with it. And she also said, "Now these can be very expensive." Your case is fairly mild compared to some cases. So there you can do some over the counter stuff that most people wear. But here's the thing, you need to be serious about it.
Oh
I
my
was like,
goodness.
okay. I said, all right, I'm about as serious as a heart attack.
Guess what? Just as serious as a heart attack, but guess who is just calling in for a quick hello?
Uh-oh. Could it be?
Are you
It
there?
is.
It's the Commodore.
Yes.
Hey,
Well,
What's up?
just to give
hey,
you,
Commodore.
we were just talking about how sad that the triad would not be here, but you're here calling in.
Yeah, I apologize. My golf game lasted a little longer than expected.
He's golfing these days. How like my God, like what a yuppie. Now, we were in the middle of hearing Rob's origin story, but hey, do you know it'd be fun? It'd be fun to like pretend like this is like Howard Stern, right? And you're
Yeah,
calling in with like a question that's like ridiculous. And you could ask either me or or Rob or just like that could be fun, right? So like
yeah,
thank you for calling Tights from Mind. How can we help you?
I have a question for Rob.
yeah.
Yeah.
What you got? What you got?
Rob,
Yes,
now
sir.
I heard that you're doing your origin story, but since I missed it, how'd you get into it?
How do I get into it? Let's go
Nice
quick.
frame of
Let's go
mind.
quick here.
Um,
Uh,
and so what you'll do now to answer that question is all you'll have to do is listen to the entire podcast up until now, which you can
yes.
easily do. Or if you want to, you can join our patron and watch the entire podcast up until now, which is an excellent thing. So that's a good
Gotta love
question.
it. That's a great question.
Would you like to repeat? Would you like to repeat the story that you just told for me? Um,
Yes, absolutely.
uh, Caller, do you ever find yourself with pantyhose interests? Or do you like pantyhose? Or what do you think?
Well, as a longtime host, I would have to say yes, I do.
That's true, but you're supposed to be role playing and not being a host. You're supposed to be like a caller. You're supposed to be like, no, pantyhose wearers go to hell.
I'm
But
totally, I'm totally I'm totally in character right now.
oh, okay. Well, I that's great. Okay, this is actually on the topic before we go back to Rob's story. This is somebody who decided to write into the Tights from a Mind Instagram who was polite enough to give me a very in-depth, like, uh, I guess, teach me a lesson or teach me the history of medical hosiery. I'm not sure if this person actually ever watched a single episode. I'm gathering that they didn't. I won't read their names, but I would be honestly shocked if they even they even heard this. But I wrote, I posted something that said, what is your pantyhose origin story? We want to hear it, yada yada. And this person wrote, "Hi, I wear them for medical reasons, originally from my physio, but also the doctor as well. Support tights should be unisex as they benefit blood circulation to people. It's actually very important. Then people wouldn't feel embarrassed by thinking they are cross-dressing when they are not. Look up compression hosiery. You will see the benefits." I
Hmm.
I was I
I,
was
I think this individual did listen to one of our episodes.
Yeah,
then
I think he listened to something a long while back, possibly.
but then if that was the case, then why would they tell me to look up something that we discussed in depth for an hour and a half?
That's a great question. Apparently,
Because they
somebody
want
didn't
to
pay
feel
attention.
special, man.
I mean, all I'm saying is that, like, yes, I'm aware of compression hosiery. I know about compression hosiery, and my thoughts on the subject, outside of you, Rob, outside of you, because you have a reason which we'll go back into. Although, Rob, over the years, though, you did finally admit, because there was a time when I first met you that you did not talk about the fetish side of anything.
No.
It was completely compression for health reasons,
Yes.
which let's parlay it back into. So you go to the doctor says try it out. You go and so now you're going to purchase your first pair of
Yes.
pantyhose, but that are not like medical stockies, right? You decided to try out the regular kind, right? To for your rest.
That is correct. Yeah, the nurse practitioner that I talked to for my second opinion basically said, you can basically get some over the counter stuff and said, here are some different brands that you can try that may help you out. And so I, like a dumbass, not paying attention to what's going on, uh, go out there and I buy the wrong stuff and everything. But once I figured out what was going on, yeah, I did the right thing. And I remember going out there. I had just gotten out of the doctor's office, went to Walmart and area, found my first pairs, post doctor, and I get home and I'm not even home 5 minutes, and I finally start getting changed and everything. And as I'm putting them on, my wife comes in. Now my wife knows I have a thing. She said she thought you have a fetish. I did not want to sit there and believe it, but I was go from that point.
Oh wow! So she taught you the whole notion of like a fetish.
Right, and she knew I had a thing for pantyhose because I would always beg her, to wear it, and she would, and she'd wear it for me and everything else. And so here it is, like I said, I'm at home not even 5 minutes and everything. I'm getting changed. I'm putting on my first pair of pantyhose, you know, post doctor, and she walks in, just come home from work, and all I know, I get this, what are you doing? Is this something I don't know about? I'm like, whoa, 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 hold on.
Some
Is
kind
this
of
something you're not
meltdown.
telling me? And so, I'm like, whoa, hold on, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. I swear, it's not what you think it is. And so, as I'm, talking to her and I'm showing her the paper, the diagnosis, and everything, she's looking at me like as if, I mean, this rage in her eyes and everything. And I'm like, honey, this is what the nurse practitioner told me. Remember, I went to the other doctor, told him about the message. She goes, yeah, uh-huh. I said, I got a second opinion. Uh-huh. I said, this is what the first doctor told me. Now this second doctor is saying the same thing. Try compression therapy. Okay. I said, look, and I pulled out the medical hosiery. I said, I got fitted for these. She looked at me and was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, no. She goes, this is going to be embarrassing. She goes, hold on. I'm like, just give it a try. I said, I didn't get them for you. They're for me. I said, I'll wear them underpants. Okay, fine. Now, this is in October, mind you. So I'm not, it's not that, that hot outside. It's getting cool. It's fall. It's autumn and everything.
How old are you at this point now?
Oh, see, 2010, that would make me, let me think. I would say about 20, no. Oh my gosh. My math is terrible right now. Um, so hold on. So 96
So if
to
you're
say
50 now,
25. So yeah. So you're looking at about roughly,
50
so about
minus
14,
what? 14
so
years?
about 14 years ago.
Okay. I'm putting on my calculator. You were 36.
Yes. So about 36. So at this point, I'm explaining to her and everything, and she's like, okay, 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 we'll work through this. She goes, this is going to be something new. She goes, I know you got this thing for pantyhose. I hope this is not a lie. I hope you're not trying to, tell me something, or not, or hide something from me. I said, honey, I'm not hiding it from you. I'm letting you know.
I'm
So
fine.
I had all these rules I had to follow and everything. It's like, okay, no problem. I'll follow the rules to show that I am a loyal husband. Hello.
So she thought you were having an affair, maybe, or what? What was the?
No, she thought I was coming out or something like that, or starting to cross dress or whatever. And I was like, no,
I
it's not.
see.
That's none of that. She was scared about that. This was also back during a whole different time in our life, which I don't want to get into, but
Right. Okay.
there there was a time where before she got some therapy herself.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
All right,
She's a different woman.
and it was a totally different woman. So fast forward to the very first time I ever went out in public. I mean, with shorts and pantyhose. So you're talking about a month later.
Yeah, you couldn't have waited that long.
No, I couldn't because I was so uncomfortable just wearing pants and pantyhose. I wanted to feel a little more free. So fast forward to Thanksgiving 2010, and we were hosting some people that were coming over. We needed some extra dishes, whatever. So she sends me up to the dollar store. I go out there. I'm wearing like these really long, like basketball looking shorts, wearing these dark tan pantyhose and everything. I think I was wearing like Hanes Alive at the time, and I go out there, socks, shoes. You wouldn't even know if you unless you really look closely.
Unless you
And
were.
I Yeah, unless you're a hoser and you could spot shit like that. And I'm there, tons of people in the dollar store. Nobody's paying attention to me. I'm just getting what I'm getting. I'm nervous. Yes, I am very nervous, but I felt free.
Right. Yep.
I felt free. I get home and you went out like that and you didn't tell me. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Oh, yeah. Big argument ensues. I'm like, sweetheart, nobody said anything. Nobody noticed. Nobody cared. I don't believe that. Oh my God, I can't believe how embarrassing. I'm going to prove it to you one day. So, oh, really? I said, yes, I'm going to prove it to you. So, fast forward a couple of days later, I take her to the mall. We go do some shopping on a Sunday. Both of the kids are with me. I'm wearing shorts. It's a cold day. I'm wearing shorts, pantyhose, everything. This time I'm wearing nude pantyhose, which nude legs are very noticeable, very noticeable.
Hmm.
And no one said anything. No one stared at me. No one snickered. No one laughed. I mean, we went into the busiest places within that mall. And of course, the mall was pretty damn busy. It's, Black Friday and, all the sales going on. And as soon as we get done and we get back in the car, I said, do you now see? You know, I didn't notice anything. I said, are you sure? Did you notice anybody staring at me? I know you were a little standoffish. I said, but did you notice anything? She goes, no, I didn't. I said, did I look natural? She goes, yeah. Did I act natural? Yes, you did. Did anybody else act any funny around me? No. I said, there, I've proven it to you, and I'll keep proving it to you. So this goes on for about 3, 4 months, five tops. Finally, starts. Finally, you get to right around the beginning of summer, and by this point, she's now handing me over all of her hosiery. She's now buying hosiery for me, and I'm still wearing suntan, but I haven't worn black out, like off black or jet black yet in public, and that was one of the most nervous moments I've ever had in my life.
Really? That's so funny because for me, wearing jet black was the easier one for me. It was wearing the shiny nudes that I was more nervous about.
I felt comfortable with the shiny nudes. It was the blacks I had a hard time with, and especially the jet black. The off black, surprisingly, actually passed with no problem. It was the jet black, and I had never really worn any of the black colors out in public. And so we were going to go next door. It was a Friday. Usually we would go next door to our neighbor who watched over our kids, and she was a very nosy neighbor. She was like one of those Mrs. Kravitz kind of people. And we were about to go out, and I was like, all right, I'll go change and put on something a little. I'll put on some pants and everything because I was in shorts and black pantyhose. She goes, no, 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 you can go ahead. You don't need to change. Come on, we'll go on over. And we were there for an hour before my neighbor even said a thing about it. And she's like, I gotta say, they actually do look good for you. She goes, do they help you out? I said, yes, they do. They're a godsend. She goes, well, more power to you. Go for it. And she clapped.
There you go. There you go. There you have it. Let yet another example of if you do not give a shit, nobody else will.
And I even wore the very first time I joined up with when my kids were in high school, especially my oldest was in marching band. I was very active with the marching band, part of the pit crew. First night they ever got to meet me, I was in off black pantyhose, wearing one of the new band shirts that I gotten during the orientation, and volunteered for the pit crew. And the leader of the pit crew, he was a former Marine, this real short, stocky dude. He goes, "Son, what the hell is that on your legs?" I said, "They're support pantyhose." And I said, "I don't give a care what color I wear." I said, "They help." "Do they really help you out?" I said, "Damn right they do." He goes, "All right." He goes, "You're a hard worker, and I see what you're doing." He goes, "Continue on."
Hey, you know what? I bet he was a hoser.
You know what? He was actually kind of jealous.
Well, I mean,
He confessed to me years later.
he did. I knew it. I knew it. What did he say? What did he say?
He, this is ever since my kids graduated, and I ran into him at a fall pop up not that long ago. And he goes, "You still wearing pantyhose?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Along with my kilts now." He goes, "Honestly," he goes, "I was kind of jealous of you though." He goes, "Because I've always wanted to do that, but I can't." He goes, I'm too old for shit like that." But so go ahead.
Oh, no. Did you
That
tell
was
him
it was it was an awesome moment. It was an awesome moment.
did you tell him that he was not too old for it?
Hold on. I got somebody talking to my wife here. Yes, baby.
Oh,
You want to tell your side?
I hear you real
Oh,
proud.
good. Go ahead. Come and tell your side of the story.
oh,
My
really?
side of the story, why I was upset with you was because of today's society, and you've been out in public with our small children,
Yeah.
and they have to go to school at that time.
Right.
I didn't want them being made fun of.
Right.
Right.
She was very upset with me,
That's why I was upset with you.
and hence why. Now
Well,
you know.
but I mean, I could commend
I
you for
don't care
being
what you wear, but when it comes to our children, I
Right.
don't want our children be picked on because of your choice.
That's right. But the thing is, that's why I was very upfront about that.
and did they ever get picked
I'm
on?
okay with what
They
you
never
do.
did. Actually, their friends, because I asked my kids, I was very specific.
That one song you went to school
Oh,
with.
that was the one guy that I went to school with.
We was at a PTA function.
Yep. And I confronted his ass about it
Yeah.
too.
And I bet
And
he
I
wanted to
called
wear
him out on it.
and
I called him out on it.
and he
So
probably wanted to
yeah,
wear too. You know he was
And
he probably did.
he did.
But
Yeah,
you know me, I was defending you
I
because
know. She would. The stuff that she would do to defend for some that was because we've had like the one time, what was it? What was that one time at the park?
well, we was at the park and that one time we was at Q Barbecue.
Yes,
That
Q barbecue.
lady, she just kept staring and staring, and
What
then
she would do?
and then she tapped her husband, and she was like pointing at
Uh huh.
him, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Forever. And she was so embarrassed. Her
Wait,
face turned red.
what did she say? We
Yeah.
missed it. We cut out her audio cut out.
If you
Or
look,
her audio cut out.
Yeah.
So what she was saying is that we were at this barbecue place, and this one lady kept staring, and then she was like tapping her and her husband's like, "Look, look, 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 look." And Susan, she turned around, and she goes, "Hey, Grandma, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on?" She would
Nice.
do that. Oh
It's
yeah,
yeah, great.
my wife. I will tell you this. She's one of my biggest defenders, and she is a bulldog when it comes going after people. Or she would sit there and she would make embarrassing them because it's pointing them out of what they were doing.
Right. Right.
But it's worse for me. I didn't give a shit. She did. And she would go after them, and I mean, she was like, "Hey, how you doing? Are you Uncle Sam? I haven't seen you in so long." Oh yeah, she would get after them.
You know,
even
you got to
touched
teach.
you, and I hugged them.
Oh yeah, even one person, she even went up and hugged one person just to fuck with them.
Oh, that's great. Like, see, you can't get away with that. Like, I can't get away with something like that. Like a big
Right,
deal. Like that'll be a fight. But like, if
That's
you're
right,
like,
that's me pushing the envelope of mind your business.
right. She's telling them to mind their business and pushing the
absolutely, and
limit on
they
that.
should. I mean, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? I mean, this isn't a talking point, you weirdo. Like,
No, no, it's not.
yeah. Well, good for her
He's,
for
he's applauding you. And you did very well. I know you were upset.
Oh, but just tell her, don't worry. She does not come off as any sort of villain in this. Like we all know
He
you.
said, "Don't worry, you don't come off as any kind of villain. If anything, I'm defending you on this."
Like, and she's been the topic of conversation for many episodes. So it's the audience is well aware of her being an advocate for you. So
Yes, if anything, I always put her on a pedestal because she is the light of my life. And I tell you what, if it wasn't for her, I mean, I don't know where I would be today. If it really, honestly, I mean, she has
giving
been
hand jobs on 75. Just
maybe I don't
I keyed. I keyed. I
Aaron,
keyed.
you muted me. You
I
suck.
didn't mean to mute you, but you were making lots of funny noises in the background, and I didn't know. And
That
I
was
didn't know
the
what.
that was the truck.
Well, I don't look. Well, I mean, I
So
couldn't
then you
very.
don't unmute me. You suck.
No, I didn't know how to unmute you, and I thought you'd muted yourself.
No.
I thought you muted yourself out of politeness. I didn't mean to. I thought you did it, and I was like, "Oh, that's convenient."
know.
I was like, he knows that the noises were being loud, and he muted himself. I apologize.
I
I
did.
well,
You you are no longer allowed to be in charge of Zoom.
um, you are not acting very hosterly, host, sir. So,
It's a good sir.
but the ultimate thing. So that's like the ultimate triumph, and then so and now and then you become this big online. You were a big online advocate for it. You were
Yes,
doing interviews back in the
yes.
day. I mean, you were doing a press tour, and that's how you were one of the first people that I saw that
Yep.
was wearing without hiding their face. And that was an inspiration to me because even I mean, it was such a big, it's not that big of a difference, but I was born in 1981. So,
Right.
but that's just enough time for you to be older enough than me to be someone that always seemed to be aspirational, like you were like I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you're 50, you're 8 years older than me. So like you were doing it first and I remember seeing you and I thought, "Oh man, that's really cool." I kind of was jealous that I missed the boat on that. But then I also
Right.
wondered, did your mom ever find out about your wearing? I mean, obviously she had
Oh
to.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
she seemed pretty cool with it from the get-go.
Yeah. She found out about it. This is after about I would say about a few months after, and I was helping her out during Christmas time, and I was wearing like I was very nervous to bring it up to her, but I was wearing like these like I guess sweatpants or whatever, and I was getting hot in them because my mom kept the house hella hot, and I needed to like cool off, and I didn't want to sit there and start stripping or anything like that. So here it is. I'm pulling up my pants, I'm pulling up my sleeves and everything, and I'm taking stuff up into the attic and everything. And even she was just like, she goes, "Son, what's that on your legs and everything?" And I explained it to her. I said, "Mom, I said, sit down. Your son wears pantyhose." Why, Mama? She goes, "Nothing against that, but why?" I kind of knew you had a thing for him, but why? And so I explained to her, the whole doctor situation, and everything else. She was like, "Okay, all right. What did Susan think about it?" And I told her how she advocates for me. She's fine with it, and it was still very, raw at that time. And so she just was kind of like, okay, well, if that's what you do, then that's what you do. I mean, she was a fairly progressive mom to a certain degree, very open minded to a certain degree. There's sometimes she's not very open minded, um, and she accepted it from that point, and I was always open with her. She's always told me to be open with her, so I was open with her, and she accepted it. Um, there was no real fuss about it, no real mess about it. And so I did the kind of like the ultimate test, so to say. So there was a family get together. This is fast forward like maybe almost a year later, and this is back when active skin was still very prominent within the men's hosiery group from LAU from Loft LAUF.
Leg wear as a unisex
That's
fashion.
fashion. Yes, gotta love it.
SpongeBob horny
Um,
dudes.
yeah,
A lot of repression in that forum. A lot of repression in that forum.
a lot of it.
I
Um,
only wear for medical reasons.
but the funny thing is that forum actually really helped me out.
It,
It
it
showed
was
I wasn't alone.
it definitely served a very important purpose. I
It
tease
really did.
I tease. I think they the only reason I joke about it is because they were not particularly it was very cliquish. I think
And the conversation was very circular.
yeah, there was a lot of that going on, and there were people who just, if you were a new voice, or if you were maybe not hiding about your sexual uh proclivities, so
Yeah.
that was kind of the thing. So, but
So
it was very important, yeah.
yeah, and the main reason why I ended up leaving at that when I did is just because it was the same conversations over and over and over again, and I got bored with it. So, and then the new owner at the time when it happened, I didn't like the direction the board was going, so it's like I'm out of here.
Mhm.
Anyways, to fast forward, I decided to do the family get together, and of course, wearing shorts, the tan pantyhose, everything else. And I remember not much happened with the exception of one particular moment. And I remember one of my aunts sit there and they was like, "Wow, Rob, you've got such an even tan on your legs." She goes, "What is your secret?" I said, "You really want to know what my secret is?" And I popped it. I said, "That." She goes, "Okay." I said, "Yeah." So yes, my legs are very evenly tanned. And from there, the conversation ensued. But nobody really said anything, noticed anything. Even my grandmother touched my legs. She didn't say a thing. So fast forward to in recent years, I went to my other aunt's house and we were going through old photos. She was like, and all my family know I wear it. They all know I don't keep it a secret. I'm very open about it. And she got to asking, we were going through all these different pictures and family photos and everything. She goes, "Were you wearing pantyhose when we took this family photo?" I said, "Yes." She's
Yeah.
she's like, "Really?" She goes, "I never noticed, honestly."
Yep.
She never realized it until way later when I finally showed up at her house wearing off black pantyhose and like a football jersey and everything else. And she just got to asking, "Okay, what's going on?"
God, you know what happened to me the other way? I went to dinner at my parents, and I was in a rush, and for the first time in like I don't know how long, I
Uh,
didn't wear any suntan pantyhose. Like I just showed up like with just regular, like nothing on.
yeah,
And I had not eaten that entire day, and it was cold out. And so my legs were mottled, right? Like they had like sort of like they were like just kind of have like a mottled sort of like pattern to
yeah.
them. I walk in and it was like, what's wrong with your legs? Like they freaked the fuck out. They were like, oh, you look so mottled. Your legs never look like that. I'm like, well, it's because I'm not wearing any pantyhose. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, it was a kind of a weird like alternate universe where they
Yeah,
were freaking out because I wasn't wearing pantyhose.
I get that too. It's like anytime if I ever showed up and I'm not wearing hosiery or if I'm wearing pants, if I'm not wearing shorts or a kilt and I'm in pants other than my work pants, if they're like, "Rob, are you okay? What's
Is everything all
you're not
right?
in shorts.
You're trying to
Yeah, are
tell us
you
something?
okay?" Yeah,
Is this an SOS?
true story. I run into that all the time now. It's like you said, it's like an alternate universe. It's like if I'm not wearing pantyhose or shorts or a kilt or something like that, people think something wrong.
Yep, yep. Like it's weird, isn't it? It's like it's sort of you become once it becomes part of your like staple. That's what they expect of you.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you're staring very ominously. I must say, Commodore, you are staring very still. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm just listening.
I was like, you are literally like ramrod. I mean, you can tell the military. You can tell the military's in the background because they just at attention, like not moving, and also very cinematically framed. The blue room behind you, like it's very Wes Anderson.
Ooh.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
Oh,
You know what
or
I'm talking
Wes
about, like
Craven.
Royal Tenenbaum, like the movie Royal
Oh,
Tenenbaums, or
oh shit.
Life Aquatic. You've seen his films before. Like everything is very like framed and colorful and
Oh yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But also, doesn't he look like he could be a mafioso? A little bit here.
Oh, it's got the nice shirt going on, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you have a fan wrote me and said, when is that alpha male gonna be wearing pantyhose on the show? Because he's so sexy. And I was like, just you got to be patient. There will come a time, but he can't right now for reasons that can't be disclosed. But yeah, you got fans. You have fans waiting. Like they're waiting, Commodore.
Good,
They're just bubbling over, literally.
good,
Excuse me.
good. Now,
Think,
Rob, do you wear with your wife now?
I wear it all the time.
Does
She does.
she?
She doesn't wear. She doesn't wear it all. She does not care for pantyhose. She's like, you can wear them all you want. I will stick to what I like to wear. She goes, she's very. Let me put it this way: she was so forced to wear them back when she was a kid that she does not care to do it, and it's very hard for her to find sizes nowadays. So she's just like, I'm done with them. I'll never wear them again. That's her. I told her, so at least wear some shiny leggings for me or something, give
what
me
about for your
something.
Yeah.
birthday?
For my birthday, she made my cake, and it threw me a gigantic party.
But would she wear for
Go
like say
back
your
to the myself. Big girl. Big girls don't like pantyhose. It rubs in their thighs.
And I also told them that you have a hard time finding stuff that was your size. So
right?
I know you don't
I don't
like it.
know. I've seen
Oh, wait,
films.
I know you did.
There are a lot of stuff coming out.
That's what I said. That's what I said. It's like
I told you it rubs into my legs.
I know it burns. You got to find the right ones. So it doesn't do that.
We'll find the right ones
I know. I know.
for
I
your.
love it when she does that.
Although I will say, Rob, did you ever make that pantyhose cookie? The pantyhose cookie that I have been asking.
We actually did,
Oh,
and it broke.
oh no!
It broke. I had made it, and
Fuck!
I was in the process of painting it and everything, and we went to go transfer it, and the tray dropped and broke everything.
Oh, I would have taken a picture of the broken cookie. That's how desperate I am to see it. I was so excited to see that. Oh, that's so sad. Oh man.
Commodore, what he's been asking for me because I do decorated sugar cookies, is to make a
Like
cookie
the
that's pantyhose. So what I've got the cookie cutter for the lamp from A Christmas Story.
Yes.
So I've got that cookie cutter, and it was a tragedy because we ended up destroying about 12 cookies that day, and I had three of them that were the pantyhose lamp.
Oh, damn.
Three
Oh,
of them.
That's too bad.
there is no
Yeah.
God. There is no
Yeah.
God to that. Oh, oh. I will see it one day, though. I will see it one day.
You I will make it. It's just I got to find the time to do it now.
I mean, I'm blown out that you actually had time to do this tonight. This is a thrill. So, and I know that you have limited time because of the fact that you are Mr. like working, it seems like nonstop.
Yeah, we are literally.
Do you want to bring the story to the finale, or is there any other like is there an anecdote that you want to throw in there to wrap up the saga that is Speed King, or have we touched all the bases that we
We've we have touched the majority of the bases. I mean, there's other stories here and there, but what I would like to at least tell people who are not public, and I can't implore this any more than what you and I have told people for years, and I mean years. Um, people people do not care what you wear.
Nope.
People are too much into their own telephones, their own cell phones, and their own world to care about what you are wearing.
Yep. That's
And it's all in how you carry yourself, how you act around people. It doesn't matter how you dress, it's how you show that confidence and have that I don't give a fuck attitude and carry yourself like that.
yep, absolutely. And if you do give a fuck, pretend that you don't.
Exactly.
Eventually, you won't give a fuck. That
Yes.
I know it's cliche. I know it is, but fake it till you make it is actually true. You can
Yes, it is.
you can convince yourself of anything. Human beings are gloriously successful at lying to themselves. Think about the lies we tell ourselves every day just to get through just to get through the waking, hours. You can tell yourself a lie if you're feeling shy or nervous about wearing something. Just tell yourself that you're fine. And then eventually one day it'll hit you that I actually am not nervous about doing this anymore. There is a threshold that you have to cross through. There is a level of discomfort that you have to fight to get through. But
Yes.
that's everything that's worth having in life, right? Everything worth
Yeah.
having in life requires some sort of pain or discomfort in order to get it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we have to work to eat. I mean, and eating is
Yeah.
awesome. If you got to kill something to eat food, I mean, so like circle of life and all that bullshit. Like
Absolutely.
you can suck
But
it up and be the person you want to be, or you can live quiet desperation, which, I mean, I guess it's an option, but doesn't seem like a good one. So
But once you're able to break that mental chain, you break that chain that's inside your head, and it's really you're the one that's that you're the chain. Once you break that chain that's inside your head, the amount of freedom you will feel is unbelievable. It's a high like you will never believe, but it's going to be. But the one thing that depresses most pantyhose wearers, and because it happened to me, is that you're going to find out that you're not going to get very much attention after the fact. Once people get used to you, get used to it. Enjoy and embrace the fact that nobody notices. First, you want people to notice you, but once things die down, still celebrate that. Because if you want to constantly get noticed and constantly get noticed, you're going to sit there and crave more and more and more. It's like a drug. You got to learn to level yourself off and say, you know what? I'm out here. I am free. I am doing what I'm doing. I've broken that chain. I'm going to celebrate that fact every single day.
you raise a really good point. I do see that there are some people who don't get past that whole like they love the look at me aspect of it. And when that no
Yes.
longer is prevalent, they start to make it more ridiculous or maybe do these like I see a lot of posts where I see people making fun of other people for being quote
Mhm.
unquote normies or not being part of the pantyhose wearing thing and I'm like okay that's literally you're just reverse like you're just doing the reverse bigotry that at one point
Yes.
in time we fought to get away from this
Yes.
us versus them shit. I think in America, it's clearly getting to the point where it needs to stop. So yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do an us versus them. We're
Exactly.
not a club. It's not
No.
something to get into. It's
No.
just you like them or you don't. But most of us do like them because And I can tell you little anecdote from let's just say I know for a fact that the younger generation is embracing them because a couple weeks ago, or I guess a week ago, spring break happened. And when spring break happens and you're a gay man and grinder, and you live in a place like I do, the all of a sudden it's like New York City because everybody's here is visiting. And I a couple of guys spring broke with me, and they're wares. Like you would not know because but just like you get these little like, and it's like, yeah, I like to wear them. But when I say like a couple of guys, like I entertained four people in a week, and by
Oh
the end of
wow,
that, yeah, by the end of it, I was like, I'm too old for this shit. Like I can't do
wow,
that. But I was very happy, exhausted, walking a little funny, but
yeah.
that's it's all fair in love and war. But yeah, no, and I want to clarify spring break from college, okay? Not like spring break from college. Like that's what I want to say. Like IID at the door, just so everybody knows. Just want to make it
No, he
point.
doesn't. No, he
Huh?
doesn't.
Well, I didn't for you because you just look
You
so
don't.
sad.
You don't ID.
I ID you. Remember when you were just a pup? Yep. I do ID. I'll ID. You know, Commodore, if I wasn't so attracted to you, I would probably not put up with this bullshit. But lucky for you, I
That's too
am
bad. That's too bad.
because that's how it works. And luckily, I'm attracted to all my co-hosts because that's how I like to host the show. I mean, like, what's the point of
That's
having a
how he
co?
rolls, man.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of having a co-host if you're not attracted to them? I mean, like, that's
Love it.
like, is that PC? Can you say that? Is that God, man? There's a human resources department. They'd be like, get him on the phone right now. Get him on the phone right now. We need to talk. You talk.
HR call. They want their host back.
Yeah, right. Uh, human resources would be my Shih Tzus downstairs. They're not very
Yeah,
good resources.
you're being recalled.
I am being recalled,
Your
but
privileges are revoked.
Totally revoked.
well, as long as I get to wear pantyhose, I do not care. And well,
Oh,
well, I guess that is the song of the evening. I feel like we'll save some of the other stories for next time. But I'm just so thrilled to have caught you in a like just a little spot of time where you were free, and I'm
yes,
glad that the
yes.
Commodore made it in by the end. Like it was a trifecta, the triad, the Triforce has formed. And
The Triforce, the Triad. Yes.
yep, power triplets unite. Pantyhose? Guess like that would be the next thing.
Yeah, King, you're killing it.
I am killing it. And by killing it, he means that I'm dying, which I'm not. Frankly, look at he's laughing. He always laughs at me. He's like my Robin. Like Howard Stern, like
Oh,
she has that tinkling laugh, just like it's wonderful. And
like
Rob
I was like Robin's the straight guy to his Howard.
yeah, you're like the straight guy to my gay Howard.
There you go.
And and the Commodore is Baba Booey. Look at him. Look, he's made of stone. You see that?
Oh,
Can you tell if his screen's frozen or if he's made of? You can't tell, right?
You can't
I can't
tell.
even see him. There you
Oh, oh my God.
Can't tell.
Well,
Stoic.
go.
yeah, you are very stuck. You are very stuck. But well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. It's been great. Hopefully we'll catch you again. Maybe you said that in the upcoming months there's a little bit of a lull, or not lull, but you're a little bit freer.
Yeah, coming up in May, we're looking to kind of take a break from all the pop up shops that we're doing, because we've got our oldest. She's graduating from college, and we got a bunch of other things going on. But we do have orders, so we will be doing orders. But hopefully, be taking a break for at least a month from doing pop up shops, just because we need a rest. Oh my gosh, it's been
I
brutal.
can't imagine. Well, hopefully you'll be able to come on with the Commodore and I, and you can watch him emotionally abuse me live on camera.
He's
What I
already
do
doing it,
best.
man. So I've got a front row seat right here, man. Come on.
I know. It's I mean, and I don't mind because like I said, it's because it's the latent attraction to me that does it. It is the veritable pulling of the pigtail thing, pulling my pigtails
Right.
proverbially.
Yes, yeah, the verbal pigtail pulling, yeah.
Proverbial pigtails. That's what I'm saying. And look at the stony reaction. On the inside, he's dancing
I am dancing on the inside.
like a flapper.
Yes,
Whew.
1920s flapper.
A 1920s flapper who's high on cocaine and uh whatever they
Good
make in
times.
one of those things they make it what do they used to make in the barrels? Like
Oh
moonshine?
my gosh, with bourbon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't remember what it's called.
Mash.
Mash, that's right. You're full of mash and cocaine and you're tapping, tapping, tapping. Well, that's all for tonight, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, everyone. See ya.